Anyhow, that was the news. Thanks for playing along with my little trivia quiz.
That was great. Yeah.
Let's do this again next year.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Oh boy, it's time for the Checkpoint News of the Year quiz.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Unlike in previous years, I took a little bit of a step back from my day-to-day writing duties, and I wrote some stories, but mostly I just did some copy editing and some other stuff on the stories that we did run. So I don't know if this is my most involved quiz, but really, looking back at this year, good grief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say it is the most good grief year so far. That's saying a lot.
I'm looking forward to the Sonic's 30th anniversary portion.
When is it actually? When was Sonic's birthday?
It'll be this year is his 35th, I think.
Yeah.
35th. Oh,
Yeah.
well, next year I might do a question where I ask you, how old is Sonic actually? But I'm glad I didn't put it in this year, although I did consider it, Beej. I did consider it. But as always, I start these things with a little bit of facts and figures round, so we
good.
can get a good idea, a recounting of what the year was like. Because, of course, what makes the world go round? Sales, lucre, dollars, pliant, digital cash, all of these things. Do you know what the top-selling video game of the year was? I've got a couple of different breakdowns for you because everybody measures things differently. And, of course, Nintendo doesn't tell anybody what their digital sales are at all. So, heavy grain of salt with these figures.
Surely one of the Calls of Duty. Those are always high.
Yeah? Yeah?
Which one was this year? Black Ops 7? That's the one that was weird that apparently people didn't like?
Oh, that's like every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I recall reading, because we did a story on it, that sales were well under expectation for a Call of Duty title. Still smashing it, but that Activision was like, oh no.
I feel like this came up in reference to us talking about GTA 6. That because there was a dude who had done a study where it was like, oh, this is going to make $100 billion. And it's going to completely upend the industry or whatever it was.
I can make up numbers too.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, right, but we did talk about what the highest grossing game was of the year when we talked about that. And I swear that was this year. But they all blend together, don't they?
I'm looking at this list, and they do all blend together. So the list we're consulting right now is from Circana Research.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Which I have used as a source for years. They used to have a different name that I'm struggling to remember.
It was something more boring, wasn't it?
But more useful.
It was just something like statistics or research or something.
I don't know. But the point being, they're really into AI on their website. But this appears to be the same thing that they're always in now. But, you know, they're in on that AI bandwagon. But I will say it's their numbers I'm using. And you are correct. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is on there despite its list. But
Okay.
Can you think of a single other game that came out that sold lots of copies?
I just want to specify for Beach's benefit, GTA 6 is not out yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can't
Yeah. So it's not
Yeah.
on
be
this
on
list.
this list.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we know that's not on that list.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the Wizard Children game was last year.
Yeah, not on this list either. There's some good stuff here that you would like, though.
Circana
Yeah.
was previously the Information Resources Inc. And then before that, it was National Purchase Diary Panel Inc.
great.
All of these names are terrible.
They must have gone for a nonsense name on purpose so that you
And
can
then-
remember it better.
And then NPD Research.
NPD Research, that's what I
National
remember.
Purchase
That was
Diary.
National Purchase Diary Panel.
That's what NPD stood for.
It's like finding out what Coleco stands for.
What does Coleco stand for?
The Connecticut Leather Company.
That sounds kinky.
Yeah. It's weird that people who like to play with leather also like computers. Also, the Tandy Leather Company. That's where we get Tandy computers from.
I don't know that Commodore has a history in leather, but
No, but it wouldn't surprise me
Should
when
we
you look at
start
the
a
guy who
leather
started
company?
it. Yeah, we should
we
start
a leather company.
Absolutely, we should.
Maybe it'll make us better at figuring out what game sold well. Okay, there's
Yeah.
got to be a sports game on there. One
Correct.
of the, if it's not FIFA, it's whatever the
EA
EA
Football
Club or whatever they call
Correct.
Yeah.
EA
Yeah.
Football is in fact on the list.
Right.
Try to think of one more popular game and then I'll reveal the whole list to you.
Oh, Silk Song.
No.
it. Mario Kart World.
No.
I would have assumed that would have sold a lot.
Because
Bill,
of
you're
the
right. Yeah.
Switch 2 bundles.
Yeah.
Circana did say that they had changed things, that bundles aren't counting this year because bundles dominated last year. Do you remember those sports bundles
Right.
that were like so now this is no bundles. And no digital downloads from Nintendo at all, whereas all the other studios are submitting digital downloads.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
Something much more...
So it must be Elden Ring of some sort.
There's no new Elden Ring this year.
Night
Well, there
Rain.
was Night Rain, but Night Rain is not nearly as popular as Elden Ring.
So you can't think of a single best-selling video game then. So this is the top 10 selling video
Battlefield.
games. Battlefield 6, the other one?
The other
The
one.
the one that's not Call of Duty, the one that's the EA one. Then, and you are correct, NBA 2K26 from Take-Two. Monster Hunter Wilds from Capcom. Borderlands 4.
Really?
Yes, Borderlands 4.
So
Despite its
true
sort of-
Borderlands fans did find a way.
I mean, I don't know how they compile these figures. I don't know if there is like, this obviously is going to count digital downloads. It may count things like Game Pass installations and stuff like that as well. I don't know if they were doing that because I'm not a Borderlands person, but despite the reaction, it did sell well. Like there are people who like Borderlands.
Is Monster Hunter Wilds the one that because I just saw even though we weren't writing a new episode this week, I just couldn't stay away. I think I saw a story about it today or yesterday that people have figured out why it's running so badly, which is that it is constantly checking if you own the DLC. And if you run a mod that just tells it, yes, I own the DLC, stop asking, apparently performance of the whole app just gets better.
So if you buy the DLC, the
Yeah.
game will just magically run better.
Yep.
That's real suspicious.
Again,
Well-
I think this is one of those don't attribute to malice what can be explained with ignorance things.
Absolutely.
I think they just screwed up.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, the DLC's not on here, but Monster Hunter Wilds, very popular, followed by EA College Football 26 in the 5th spot, Madden NFL 26 in the 6th spot, Call of Duty Black Ops 7, number 7, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, number 8,
Right.
The Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, number 9.
So not Skyrim, all right.
That's so silly.
But it was when you said Eld, I got really excited for a second there.
Elden Scrolls.
Yeah, and then Ghost of Yotai from Sony.
I forget there's always year-on-year bleed from Call of Duty games.
Oh, I see.
There is.
Yeah.
You know, Beige, you suggested a couple games that are not in there because they are not like the super ultra mainstream high selling video games. So why don't we check in with Steam, the digital gaming storefront? Steam sorts its top sellers differently. It displays the top 12 games of the year in a random order. So here's what they put in there. So can you tell me what's in their platinum sales tier for games released in 2025? So basically they won't tell you our best selling game of the year, but they'll say, these 12 games were in our platinum tier. These were in our gold tier. These were in our silver tier.
Okay.
And so these are 2025 releases, platinum selling games.
Vampire Panty Raid EX2, the release.
No.
Okay. The DLC?
It runs better if
Yeah,
you have the
I
DLC.
cannot stress enough how much a game of the opposite of this is in here.
Just to clarify, these are games that were released in 2025.
Released in 2025 only, because the best selling games of 2025 on Steam may not have been released in 2025.
Because I was going to say GTA 5 again.
No,
Is Silksong in this list?
correct.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
I'm glad Hollow Knight Silksong was one of them. I'm glad that you get the theoretical points for that instead of Beige.
Got it. Well, he's actually beaten the game, so, you know.
All right, well,
I'll take my victories where I can
I'll
take
give
'em.
Beige a point for beating the game.
He's
then.
got me there, yeah.
All right, can you name any other games?
I can't
Beige, do you want to name some games that Graham likes?
I would have assumed that Hades 2 actually would have cleaned up at that.
No.
Is Night Rain on this list?
Yes.
Hey, okay.
All right.
What
is
about
interesting
the other
now.
ones that we talked about? Expedition 33?
Not on that list. Okay.
No? Wow.
Nope.
Stuff that's on, because I don't do a lot of PC gaming. So for me, it's
Power Wash Simulator 2.
No.
Dang it.
yeah, but that's a good guess. My God. Oh, I was
I mean,
jealous.
some of the games on the Circana list are also sold on Steam, hint,
True.
hint.
Yeah,
Oh,
fair.
well, I mean, probably, but not the Calls of Duty, because they have their own launcher, don't they?
Yeah, but maybe their direct competitor.
Battlefield is on that list?
Correct. Battlefield 6 is on that list.
Well, Borderlands then probably.
Correct.
Somehow.
Probably not any of none of the sports games, though.
No?
There is a sports game on that list? That's bizarre to me.
Is it the football one or the basketball one?
It's the football one.
Okay.
All right, enough of this guessing.
All right. Yeah.
Let's just show you the list. This is in a random order: Hollow Knight, Silksong, Civilization 7,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Monster Hunter Wilds, EA Sports FC 26, Borderlands 4, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elden Ring Night Reign, Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders,
Oh, right.
which we have the confirmation that it is now sold. This probably happened maybe early January. 12 million copies sold since October 30th. So you can get an idea of how many other games some of the titles in this area have sold, and this is just on Steam. Also, Dune Awakening
Oh,
did
interesting.
gangbusters business.
Is that the MMO?
I don't know, but it's a Dune game, and I didn't even know it was out.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
So, hey, that's pretty good. This will make certain people at our office happy. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, one of the best-selling games on Steam.
Right.
Nice.
Good for them.
Smooches. And probably, I think, an indication of the greatest growth of personal wealth. There's an independent game called Schedule 1, which is essentially like Walter White optimization sim, right? Make and sell drugs.
Right.
That is like developed by like a single developer, and it is in this platinum selling tier. So I can only imagine that this person has made enormous money.
Oh, good for them.
So yeah, good for them. I hope they retire forever and never have to do anything again.
I hope they stop making games too.
Well, I just think that they should be able to do whatever they want with their life, and if it's making more games, good, and if it's not, whatever. Go on.
Just don't hurt anyone else.
Keeping on with our facts and figures, because I think it is a nice summary of the year. Sales, we've talked about sales and their various metrics, but they are not the same thing as the adoration of your peers and audience, are they? So if you're not rich, like the Schedule 1 developer, may you at least be well reviewed? So I checked Metacritic, and then I took out all of the re-releases in the top 10, of which there were 3. And
One of them was Oblivion.
no. 2 of them were the Tears of the Kingdom and
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild re-releases.
Switch 2 editions.
Switch 2
For
editions.
these are the Metacritic top reviewed games of the year, which has
Okay.
nothing to do with sales, but just to do with everybody thinks they're the best. I'm going to say the number one at time of checking, according to like their 2025 sorter, it was Tears of the Kingdom, as 95% positive. But I can tell you the number 2 spot, I've moved it up to the number 1, and I'm taking out any re-releases. So, what do you think was the best reviewed game of the year? The most beloved, the highest quality, the one that everybody got horny about?
Claire Obscure. That's the one everybody got horny about.
I was going to say Silk
There's
Song.
no way. Like the thing is, people love Silksong and people hate Silksong. And so there are going to be critics out there who be like, no, this game is not good because it does not do things. Everyone was waiting for this game to come out and it is not a good game. There are going to be critics out there who were writing up stuff like that.
Yeah, you're forgetting the other game that everybody was really horny for.
Hades 2.
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, Hades 2, 95%.
That was like Sonic Cross Worlds?
Yeah,
We can show them the graph now. I'm not going to drag this out too much longer. Paul has thankfully blanked out our choices here. So Hades 2, 95%. Claire Obscure, 92%. Blue Prince, 92%.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, Blue Prince.
Great.
Nice.
Split Fiction, which I believe Paul and Heather played.
They did, yeah.
We did, yes.
Yeah, 91% positive. Do you agree with that?
It was a lot of fun. To be honest, I can see problems with it that I probably wouldn't give it like a 5 out of 5 or whatever. So, but it was a very fun game.
Would you give it like a 4.5 out of 5, which is what a 91% is?
I guess so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
The system works. Also running in at 91% is Donkey Kong Bonanza,
Surprising, okay.
which Penelope played a lot of, but then because our friends Dan and Corinne were over and Dan had it on his Switch and Penelope was like, God, please play Bonanza. And then she played it like the whole time they were visiting and then she was like, okay, I don't need it now.
Yeah.
So That's a
Lost the
four-
sale.
Yeah.
You guys
Good.
saved $100.
I've heard it's
good.
very good.
Hollow Knight Silk Song coming in at 90%. So yeah, about 10% of critics were really derisive
Yeah.
just for difference.
The critics liked it, but the players, I imagine...
There's a lot of players
I
who
imagine
hate it.
the player score for Silk Song is a lot lower than the critic score.
I could believe that, but yeah, the fact that it comes in at 90%, I'm like, if this is based on a critic score too, I can see that a lot of critics will be like, this is 7 out of 10 because it's just, the game's too inaccessible, like it's too hard to beat Moss Mother, like that kind of stuff. It'd be like, all right, fair.
I don't know these people.
The thing is, I love the game, so, despite the fact that it was brutal, ultimately, the longer I've not been playing it, the more I've come to appreciate it.
Rounding out our top 10, we have Des Pilote, 89%.
yes.
Oh, cool.
Rhythm Doctor, which I've never heard of.
I've never heard of this either.
Finally released, that's right. Yeah.
Oh.
Heather was excited to see that it was actually getting a release.
All right.
So I'm surprised that that's getting such a good review. Nice.
Okay, literally had no idea this game was out. The Seance of Blake Manor. The Seance of Blake...
Also
I don't
unfamiliar.
know.
Don't
And
know.
then Norman Reedus Fetus Simulator, Death Stranding 2.
Well,
Came in at the number 10 spot, technically kind of, because it has 89%. So I guess what I'm saying is that the grandest winner of the year was probably Silk Song because it appeared high up on 2 of these lists.
Right.
So it got both money and acclaim.
Yep.
And I would say the loser is probably Black Ops 7 because that got realistically neither money nor acclaim, but it did get some Fallout skins. Which people aren't super happy about because they're like, what happened to it being more realistic?
They were like, no, we're going to keep it more grounded. Like, we hear you, and we're going to keep it more grounded. And that lasted not very long
Yeah,
at all.
but now we have this.
Cool.
oh my God.
I wonder
Cool.
if Ella Purnell gets kickbacks on this.
I
I
hope
doubt
so.
it.
I hope she does.
I'm sure
It's
she
her
does
likeness.
not.
Yeah. I guess it depends what you sign away in the agreements, right? If it's like, I didn't authorize this, like you did nothing in the thing saying that we can't use your likeness for video game skins.
My friend Chris said that the really cool thing about the Fallout show is that they looked at Fallout and they went, oh, that's cool. Let's make a show set in that world, not adapting the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Strong idea, I think, actually.
I think really strong idea,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, what if we make this video game into a TV series? Wouldn't that be a good idea? As opposed to like Halo, which was like, oh, what a cool video game. Let's make a totally unrelated TV series and call it Halo.
Right.
Well, or let's take a storyline that's really developed to be, that was designed to be told in one way. And tell it in a complete, really mess it up by moving it into a completely different medium that it wasn't designed for. And then people are like, this isn't as good as the game.
Yeah.
No kidding!
Weird.
But all of it, we've talked about the most popular games. What
Yeah.
about Wither, the average game? How difficult was it for a game to stand out this year? Harder than ever. Let me tell you how many games were released on Steam last year. I have some slides for you because this is a multiple choice question.
Okay.
Was it A, 12,228, B, 18,533, C, 20,015, or was it D, 27,112?
C.
C.
C?
Ooh.
Oh, strong for C. All right, well, let's show them the slide. That is correct.
Hey.
Hey, all right.
A mere 12,228 games were released in 2022. In 2024, that was that 18,533. And then C, 2025, 20,000 games. And D, that high mark, well, that's just merely the cumulative total of games that were on Steam in 2018.
Good heavens.
Wow.
Which
wow.
we should be surpassing the next couple of years. I can only assume this rapid growth is due to AI slop and asset store flips, and most of these are bad.
Yeah, let me tell you, I have not had a reduction in available crap for watch and play. Remember when Steam was like, okay, we're finally putting guardrails on this, and people were like, rip our favorite show.
And you're like, I'm
We're
okay.
like, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We were fine.
I'll barely get through the C's this year, and I got to move on to the D's.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's still plenty of garbage around. And finally, I got it because it is an important part of things that happen, even though we don't love reporting on it because it's miserable to report on people losing their jobs.
Oh, no.
According to independent tracker game industry layoffs, how many people lost their jobs in gaming in 2025?
Is this multiple choice, or are we just meant to throw out a number?
Just throw out a number.
30,000.
Why?
No, that's too high.
Okay.
That's
Why?
way too high.
Oh, thank God. Why does that tracker have to exist?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh gosh. I don't know. It's like 10,000.
So 2024 was actually a way worse year for layoffs. And it turns out when you lay off that many people in a year, you literally just don't have as many to lay off. According to their tracker,
Okay.
a mere 5,300 people lost their job.
Wow.
5,300 people, which is so many. But in 2024, it was quite a bit more than that. But yeah, not great.
I guess the stories about layoffs were more frequent in
Yeah.
2024.
2024, according to this website, and obviously no website is going to have a complete total, but this seems to be very accurate. It has like lists of things like LinkedIn posts and stuff. 14,600 in 2024.
Wow.
So almost 2/3, or almost 3 times as many. But hey, 2026, we are not slouching. We're up to 850 so far in 2026 as Meta finally winds up its virtual reality stuff that they went all
the
in on.
metaverse stuff.
And they bought all those companies because there's lots of little independent game startups that were bought by Meta basically wholesale and then said, you can only make games for Meta. You can only be in this ecosystem. And it just basically crushed all of them, because nobody had a chance to even look at what they were doing. Some of them apparently made very good games.
So we're already at 800 something in 2026?
According to this website, we are at 850 in 2026. Playtika has laid off 500 people. Armature Studio, 40. Most of these people in AR, VR. Meta has laid off 65 people at Twisted Pixel, about 130 at Sanzaru, an unknown number at Camouflage and Supernatural and Armature Studio. But shout outs to Ubisoft, who laid off 71 people in their Halifax studio because they unionized.
Right.
Wow.
I heard about that. The Halifax Ubisoft studio unionized, and then Ubisoft went, cool, you're all fired.
Yeah, to be clear, this is not they're laying off people at that studio. It's that studio is closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how Starbucks deals with franchises that unionize. They just close the franchise. So,
I guess I thought it was going to be a lot because as games also trend up with newer game, like more and more games being released in the industry, that therefore I thought, well, that means that the companies have to lay off more and more people all the time. The more games that get made, the more people you have to lay off.
right.
Yeah.
That's how that works. 5,300. And every one of them believes they are developing the next spiritual successor to Disco Elysium.
And yeah, so to be clear, these numbers are based on like publicly available and information and like news articles and LinkedIn posts and stuff. It's, presumably
Presumably it's higher, but
higher, but
yeah.
If you are interested in this, the website is publish.obsidian.md. It's a very old school website. It's great.
Nice.
But yeah, for example, it's like it tells me like, oh, Playtika announced today they laid off about 500 people, and it just links to their like SEC filing
Oh, okay.
that says that they're reducing workforce by 15%. Grim. That was depressing. Why don't we move on to the remembering the news round?
Oh, no.
Yes. So this one I had to get a little bit of help from Cameron and Nelson, actually, to remember things in the news. Because like I said, I was doing less of the original research and more of the just reading people's stories. And you know what? I am prepared to admit now that if I just read something and just look over it, I am way less likely to retain information than I had gone out and found the sources myself and done my own research. It's incredible to have this demonstrated to myself in real time. But I didn't have to use ChatGPT for that.
Oh.
Just my own common sense as I went to put together this quiz and went, wow, I do not remember 2025 nearly as well as I remember other years. Oh, anyhow. But I did manage to get you some good news because it wasn't all doom gloom in the AI boom. Thanks, I wrote that last night. Some good things happened. For example, what country elected their interim prime minister via a Discord poll?
Oh, yes. We did a whole story about this.
We did. Nelson wrote it. It was something called the Gen Z Revolution.
Nepal?
Yes, it was.
Ding, 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 ding. After the Gen Z protests against corruption drove out the old government, Sushila Karki, the former Chief Justice of Nepal between 2016 and 2017, became the interim prime minister, beating out 4 other candidates due to her perceived impartiality. So far, she's scheduled the next elections for March 2026, after which she said she's going to leave her position, lowered the minimum voting age to 16, frozen the passports of the former government, declared the murdered protesters to be martyrs, and that the families of those killed and injured in the protests will be compensated.
Nice.
Jesus.
I also
Ladies
like
getting stuff done.
I also like that one of the people that she defeated in that Discord poll was a random Nepali. That was one of the options to vote for.
They would have picked somebody at random to be like, you're the new president until we needed.
Because they've done studies that, like, apparently, if you just elect a random member of your country for, like, short bursts, that they will do a better job than, like, a career politician.
Right.
I don't doubt that for a second.
No, I don't doubt it either.
No. Because those people care. But anyhow, that is also some, I thought that was some great news.
That's awesome, yeah.
We don't know how those elections are going to go down. Obviously, I'm really hoping Sushila Karki then, says, I'm done, peace out, but she seems like a very reasonable person. I like everything else she's done. In other good news, a bunch of speculative assets were wiped out in Counter-Strike.
Oh, right.
At the end of October, Valve updated how items were traded in the game, wiping out more than $2.5 billion from the Counter-Strike skins currency market. But 2 months on, where are we at? We lost $2.5 billion from the Counter-Strike skins marketplace. But where is it sitting now?
Can we come up with better terminology
Than skins?
Than skins.
Skin market?
Because it's just like, what do? Oh, I buy and sell skins.
I mean, that could just be a leather company.
That's true. You know what?
Coleco, Tandy.
You're so right. Valve's right there with them, I guess.
Valve's a leather company.
We're in the skin game. What? We can make a gun sparkly and purple. What?
So you're asking if all of this paper money disappeared. Paper money's not even right anyway, but paper assets disappeared. Stuff that is just like volatile. It wasn't even real to begin with.
Yeah.
You're asking where has that money been relocated?
Well, I'm just saying if the market was dropped from about 6 billion to 4.5, dropping 2.5.
At that time,
Where do you think the market is now?
I assume somehow it has rebounded astronomically.
Oh, you think it's higher than it was?
Somehow.
You think it's above 4.5?
I think they made some sort of change.
It could be lower, it could be higher, but like...
Yeah, I think whatever this change was like obviously a big crash to start with, but the reason that they made that change meant that more money could happen somehow.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So I think they're
funny.
So you
better
think
off.
that's above 6?
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of skin merchants lost their shirts.
These leather workers, these hardworking leather daddies, as
I
we call
believe it's
them.
above 3.5, but not above 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well...
I don't. You know what? I'll even go better. I believe it's between 3.5 and 5.
Good news for Graham. While we're not back at the heady $6 billion price point things were at before the shakeup, according to the Price Empire, which is a website that tracks these kinds of things, at the time of writing, the current market cap is about $5.7 billion. So you can see the dip in the middle where they changed that, and then it was down for a bit, but it's basically it completely rebounded. So good news, no lessons were learned.
Huh. That's very interesting.
What was the point?
I don't know.
This is so weird. It seems
Just to give us something to talk about, I
It
guess.
seems more stable than it was before.
I mean, there's just that massive hump where it climbed up to 6, right? And I think that was why.
Yeah, but look before the hump. It's like
it's at the same level. It is now.
But it's much more even.
I feel like there's probably a sense of like when that hump started that it was like, oh no, everything's going out of control, the secondary market. We have to do something about it. So they did something about it. And then after they did it, it just basically ramped right back up to about, what is that, 3.5, 4.5, 4.5, probably.
Yeah.
And then it everything evened out. And they're like, see, they recovered some of whatever it got, but it's back where it is. It's nice and even, so we'll just wash our hands of that. And it had like a slow climb. And I bet you there was some panic where it was like, oh no, do we have to do it again? And then it was like, no, it just kind of evened off. And they're like, that's what we want to see. We just want to see bullshit money represented in our product for the rest of time. We want to see constant whatever. We don't want to see another growth pattern like that. I bet you that's all that was.
Yeah.
It was just a panic. And a lot of people took the opportunity to sell out, but I guess not that many people. But I still think even if you sold out at the absolute dip, there's no way you've gotten actual cash out of something that's literally worthless.
Yeah.
It's intangible. You can't even burn it in case of apocalypse.
To the tune of Cool Operator, you could do your own theme song as a skin speculator.
My skin speculator.
Yeah. What do you do for a job? Well...
What did you do in the before times, they said, over a fire that included the complete collection of Isaac Newton's, theorems and all of the physics that is impossible to relearn once lost?
Yeah.
I used to be a skin speculator.
Actually, actively checking on your asset costs you money. Technically. It's like how a lamp in a video game is actually showing you real light.
All right, moving on.
Please.
It's time for the odd one out round.
Oh, good. Okay. Ooh.
These are 4 people, or four
Entities.
pictures of humanish creatures. We'll say. But could you tell me, first identify them, and then
Okay.
tell me which one is the odd one out?
Sure. Is that Tyler?
It is Tyler.
Okay, so
you know I love Tyler. So.
It's Tyler the creator.
Yep, that one's a fully human person.
Yeah, Huntrix from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yep, all voiced by humans,
Yeah,
but not technically humans.
got it. That's I Show Speed,
It is
the streamer.
the streamer.
And I do not know who number 4 is.
So therefore, that's the odd one
That's
out.
like one of the most flattering pictures of this person I've ever seen,
Oh,
Paul.
so it is Laura Loomer.
Ah,
I was like, it looks a little bit like Laura Loomer, but she looks too human. And as soon as you said this was the most flattering, I was like, oh, it
I've
is
never
her.
seen such a good picture of her. Like the light's not on her face.
Yeah.
And like I shouldn't shame I should not shame people for their appearances, but I can shame people who are ugly on the inside.
She chose to look how she looks.
That is a reflection of what is going on in her heart. You can't tell
Yeah.
me that's not. That is a witch's curse manifest.
So we have to determine whomst is the odd one out
Who's
here?
the odd one out here?
And it's not just like, is Huntrix because they're not...
They're CG?
They're fictional, and the other 3 are ostensibly real people.
Yeah, well,
So
I mean,
it's
you
not
got
going to
two
be...
musicians here.
Right, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Let me see.
I put some thought into this. Thank you always to Have I Got News for You, for whom I have stolen the format of this question from.
It's a good one. 1, 2, and 3, probably like international travel. I Show Speed's been doing his like world tour.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And this relates to video games somehow.
Somehow.
Oh, Laura Loomer probably is not in Fortnite. I hope.
That's really good, though. I like that.
Congratulations, Graham. You have gotten it. 1, 2, and 3 all got Fortnite skins this year, and this is one of the meanest jokes I've ever written. 4 only had one if you count Art the Clown. But I'm sorry, if you were a horrible, evil person, who am I supposed to make fun of? Come
Oh
on.
Yeah.
man,
Fair.
Terrifier. Excellent.
Yeah.
I didn't know Tyler actually got Fortnite skins.
Yeah,
That was his like chromacopia persona.
Yes, that's him in the
With the
that's
hair.
from the most recent video.
Yeah.
Or most recent album, but the second most recent album, because he actually put out a mixtape after that. It was a
Oh.
little bit more like... The point being, yes, everybody got a Fortnite skin except Laura Loomer.
Nothing of value was lost.
No.
Paul Drew was like, ooh, could you do a second one of those? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm really out of ideas. Paul, did you come up with your own odd one out round?
I did not.
You did
Okay.
not. It's actually harder than you think, eh?
I was trying to like which one of these Sonic tie-ins is like not from. I don't know. I had some ideas for things, but ran
2 different kinds of
ran out of
shoes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
Crocs and the Was it Uggs? No. Doc Martens? No. What was the boots? Timberlands.
Yep.
Tim's and Crocs.
Yep.
No, that is incorrect.
What?
The Crocs were from 2023.
You're
I
thinking
think.
of the Pumas they had this year.
There were Pumas and there were Timberlands.
Yeah.
Well, I think what makes a good odd one out round is that you could see connections between a couple of different pairs in them, right?
Yeah.
So
No, that was great.
maybe this one was a little obvious, but
It's fine.
If you were going to do a Sonic shoes round, you'd basically have to name about 18 different shoe companies and say which one of these have they not done shoes with yet.
yeah, but then you would just know who it was, Beige, because you're weird like that.
18 different shoe companies. They have done so many. I was in Winners and saw Sonic the Hedgehog shoes I'd never seen before. I'm like, who did they do these with? We didn't even do a story on these.
I
kept walking.
and they just ended up straight in winners.
Yeah, they just went straight to Winners.
The last best.
Last bastion of style.
If you don't have winners in your company, or in your country, it's kind of like a TJ Maxx. Like basically, they get sort of like liquidation merchandise from other sellers, I guess, or just like factory overruns or whatever, where they're like, oh, made way too many of these Sonic shoes and they're not selling, so we'll send them to Winners and they'll like clear them out.
If you're from the UK and you're like, Kathleen misspoke, that's not what it's called. TK Maxx is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just called that in England, and I don't know why.
And it's TJ Maxx in the States, and it's Winners here, but it's
I
all
looked
the
it up
same
once,
business
and
model.
I determined I don't need to retain this information, and I put it away.
But yet you just told us all of it.
Yeah, no, but the why, I don't know. I don't know the reason why. I did. I looked up why at one point, and I went, oh, neat, and then I forgot.
I'm going to say that TJ and TK were a happily married couple, but then they had a split, an acrimonious split. And so they had to have separate their own country, their own companies in their own countries.
TJ probably means something rude in the UK.
Probably.
Probably.
Like Tug Job or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Tug Job Max. You can see a lineup around the corner.
And then a much more disappointed lineup leaving the store.
Yeah, exactly. with like cheap T-shirts and iPhone cases, being like, I didn't expect. I kind of thought.
I came here for release.
Yeah. To do some retail therapy.
Ugh.
Oh, no.
All right, well, that's our round. That's our quiz of the news for the year.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I mean, this has been 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
So, thank you so much for joining me. Paul, thank you so much for putting together all of those wonderful slides. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And thank you both for doing such a good job writing and presenting the news this year.
Thank you.
And only vaguely remembering what you talked about so we could
Yeah.
add a little bit of drama.
Well,
Would you like to hear the final scores?
Yes, I would love to hear the final scores, Kathleen.
All right, I have decided the final scores are going to say 4 points to Beige, who named some video games, but then we're going to say 7 points to Graham, who basically answered every other question correctly.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay, good trivia.
I knew that Laura Loomer's not in Fortnite.
I couldn't tell you who any of those people were.
Perfect. All right, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. You haven't seen K-pop Demon Hunters?
No.
Oh, you'd probably like it.
Coming up, what are your predictions for gaming industry news in 2026? Bonus points for the least depressing. Are you both ready and warmed up?
Oh, yeah. Are we warmed up? I don't know. We'll find out.
I'm ready.
I watched Beige yawn and then it made me yawn. No? All right. Everybody get your yawning out of your system.
God damn it. And now you at home